please feel free to write them into the comment section. It is at the top right corner, the third. There is this chat, so feel free to add anything there. And today we are going to talk about data-driven document management. And for this, our dear customers, Avokado's customers from Bondora, Lelet has come to join us and is going to share also her experience. So thank you, Lelet, for joining. We will probably also do quite a bit of discussion. And if you have any questions, feel free to really add them, and there is a separate time for that at the end of our discussion. So today's agenda will be the following. A quick introduction on Avokaado. We will then, and also Pandora. Of course, we will hear more about Bondora and their details in the section a bit further down. But we will also look into the problem that today many companies are facing, how the documents are treated very statically, and traditional methods might not be in line with increasing compliance obligations, which are set for different companies. So we'll look into that. There is also the solution part, how Avokaado envisions this, and what tools do we have to offer against those problems. And then we will deep dive into Pandora's story. So looking into the necessity, why did they choose Avokaado, about their daily operations and experience with data registries, and a separate section also for the Q&A. So I guess then let's get to it. Starting with Avokaado. Avokaado is a SaaS-based platform that offers end-to-end document management solution for a variety of companies, including Bondora, and we see some of our other customers here, and I am happy to see that some of them are also have joined this call. There's about 100 organizations that are our customers and about 50,000 users on our platform. So, and Bondora, here is a very quick case study or a slide that we have often used, because Bondora is a very good customer of ours who uses Avokaado for centralized contract metadata management. So, here. And yeah, I guess then let's rather get to it then. So what is the problem? I'm happy to actually hear also if you are in line with whatever we're going to talk, so feel free to also leave comments later down the line. So as mentioned before, documents overall are in that sense great. They tell us what are the terms of the contract, what has been agreed with, who are the parties, what are the terms, what has to be done. But quite often, and more often than not, they're actually just treated as static PDFs, not data. And this is something that is, well, part of the legacy of the documents, because they have been on paper. We haven't had access that much to the actual details of the data and how do we use them. And we are actually quite all right, maybe even with them just being static. But as things are changing, as the legal landscape is also changing, and we must become more in control of what has been agreed with, and as when the internet came, we all agreed to tick the boxes and agreed to different things. Then along the way, it might turn out that there can be several things that we didn't read, or data that we didn't know about that we actually had at hand. So with this legal landscape changing and also the technology evolving, and we all know that there is a very good new tool that I'm sure everyone has heard about, and not only, but everyone are nowadays using, is also AI. And all those things, different components, they are currently can be quite separate, but they are all intertwined. And hence, I do think that the approach must change from being all scattered, different data points, different information, different sources, really, where the information might be stored. So coming back to the tools that we are currently using, I'm sure all of you also use cloud, but cloud necessarily isn't the answer. So cloud as a solution can just be like a drawer, and where we push everything out of sight and hence out of mind. So whatever tools we decide to use, in the end of the day, they should be really in line with our needs, so that the data would also be actually visible, not just somewhere inside a static PDF. And in case there is no data visibility, and as it is quite often regular cloud services, we end up with a lack of control. And regardless, actually, of what business you're in, I am sure that you have seen the regulations being on the rise. So GDPR, I think no company is guarded from this. GDPR, like the data management. How do we collect and use and store the data that we collect? There is also the EU Digital Services Act, which is starting to affect more and more of us. Currently, there is also EU AI Act, which is in development. There can be sector-specific regulations. For example, if we're going to talk with Lelet, there's the financial inspection of Estonia that, and I'm sure of any other country, that forces their regulations, their criteria that has to be met. And of course, there's the rising trend of DORA regulation, which is also for financial services. Today, we will not be focusing too much on DORA regulation, but perhaps just in a couple of words of how potential solutions could look like. So indeed, this is what Avokaado then has tried to do, all those different aspects of the problem, and to kind of provide a solution there. So as mentioned, the past is always there, regardless of where you're coming from. There is the bunch of papers that has an effect on your business, but if it is not handled properly, it can affect you still in significant ways. So the solution would be then to get those documents digitalized, and not just digitalized, but really to get them into flexible data registries with as much automatic workflows and with reduced manual interventions, so that and we have this wonderful tool of artificial intelligence nowadays that helps us to really to help us in such manual tasks. And Avokaado indeed has created AI copilot, which we will look further into with Lelet as well, because I think this has been the main tool that Lelet has been using. I would even think that she's has become, I don't know if friends, but definitely has a relationship. So the idea indeed is to really gain back control with data transparency. To if you feed in your past documents, your legacy, and you bring them into today, you first define the data points that are important to you, meaning that it can be the terms, the conditions. Is there an NDA? What is the governing rules? How do we? What are the termination terms, for example? This is surprising. I would think the most often asked question from our AI, because simply people have no idea really what they have signed, because the people who have been signing those documents might have just changed, and organizations now are stuck with those obligations. And with those proposed solutions that I guess, will be looking at today as well, I really, really like the term compliant by design, because on this flexible platform of Avocado, you can automate the workflows and you can automate your ways of usage and also even the data that you extract. And you can make it so that whatever you really do, you will be compliant. Of course, the platform is very flexible, as are the regulations. They can be of all kinds, so they must be always tailored to your needs. So this is about then the legacy documents. Now, there's always the new documents, which I think many of our customers have used Avocado mainly for. Well, this can nowadays almost function on autopilot. Again, it is somewhat, of course, people make sure that everything runs smoothly, but if you have the process in place, if you have your templates automated, and you just push them along the process and they are added to your registries and the data will be there. And one other thing that I have found increasingly important is company-wide solutions and organizational governance, because more and more, well, companies can be huge. And if each one has their own small toolkit that they're using, there will be mismatches, there will be data lost, there will be, in that sense, even lack of control, again, of the data that is inside those systems. Where are actually the central bases, like where are the data storages of those systems, is becoming, for example, increasingly important. And I think this is also something that we can quickly touch upon with Bondora. For example, well, there is regulation based on this, that your for example, any server that is located in the US has to, at certain times, the government has to provide this, or the government must be provided this information upon request. So this is, even though you may be located wherever you are, the location of your servers are also important. And so there, with company-wide solutions, those many of those, of course, you have to make sure, as I said, the server of location, but you can build your own little governance bubbles or spaces within your workspace to make sure that everyone, also within the organization, has access to the specific data, and the data accessed on the one hand side, but also restricted on the other, so that no one else other than the people who are supposed to have access to the information would have access to it. So those company-wide solutions nowadays, I think, do provide a sort of a possibility to keep in check what and who has access to. And of course, let's not forget integrations, because there really, I think, are no one size fits all solutions. So there will always be different tools used, even though I do say that it has to be kept in a way in check, but at the same time, the integrations does allow movement between those different tools. So this is why integration can also always be a nice tool at hand. Then, what has Avokado's approach been nowadays is indeed to take the documents the data as first, so that data is always, regardless of even though document may be the end result, the data is the one that the document is built around, to make sure that you have beautiful overviews of the data, that you can always access it, that you can always amend it. And when you need to amend the data, you actually create a new document that is sort of data centric. So this has been the approach. Of course, documents have the signatures, they are legally binding. They're very, very important. But without the data, they're just a paper. And the third one being the AI, and nowadays Avokaado is trying to build a sort of agentic um, agentic tools, so agents that would really carry a weight, so that you can take those agents and then help you really improve the ways that you work. Of course, today we are mainly still focusing on single AI, the first tool that we have, but this is something that is coming more and more onto our platform. And I'm sure you will be hearing more all about it. But I guess let's get then to Pandora. Lelet, would you like to lead here?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Marianne. Hi all. My name is Lelet, and in Bondora, I'm working here like a legal assistant. When I joined Pandora, my main duty was to like implement the Avocado to Pandora, because I can't reply to question why they choose Avocado, because this decision was made before me, but I'm totally happy of the decision. So, and the main focus to implementing Avocado to Pandora was that in the past of Pandora, we have hundreds and hundreds of different agreements. I'm not talking loan agreements. I'm talking like service
Perhaps
agreements.
vendor agreements, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
vendor, exactly. So in the practice, sometimes happen that one day we will find out that, oh, one service is already ended and we didn't know, and no one has the overview of the all contracts what we have. Of course, in some departments like IT or finance, they had, but not over the group. So at the moment, this is our first thing what we have done with Avocado. We have been using the AI copilot function, which is like a magic tool for the all contracts what we have from the past. Later on, Marianne will show that we have over 120, 130 of contracts what we have already counted with the AI. And as Maria mentioned, it's so important to get the data from the contracts. We need to know the end of date, whatever, where is GDPR, DPR, where is whole data. So the AI function, what is possible to use, it's like a magic. We have collected lots of information via that. Otherwise, if it needed just human eye to look and read all the contracts, I don't know. I'm probably still reading it and try to analyze the whole contract. And as we are regulated creditor under the FI license, we have also lots of rules and what we need to look and collect, and once in a year do the contract audit and everything like that. And the first thing was, yes, we needed to find out the whole contract legacy from the past until today. Today, we use the Avocado platform for the signing process as well, which is very comfortable. So,
and I think you also first import the contracts with AI, right? Usually. so that you get the data also into the registry at the same go, and then you actually send it to signing, right?
Yes, yes, that's correct. To mention that I'm not writing the contracts in the system. This process we do somewhere else. So we use the Avokaado only then when the draft contracts and everything is ready for signing. So then I use the AI function. I will have it on the data registry, and I can send out it for the signing process. And later on to save on the right Pandora's entities and to keep for the future. And what is a very good thing, again, with the agreements, they fix the end date. So before the end date, I have usually, I don't know, some contracts 3 months in advance. I need to remark, do I want to continue with the contract or not? So I'm not gonna lose the proper information from each contract. So of course, everyone can say that you can use the Excel or whatever. So, but still, nowadays we have AI and programs, and it's much more easier.
I guess it would be anyways like a double workload, right? With
Exactly.
I do think very many of our customers, at least many who have come to Avokaado to automate their processes, have some sort of Excel overviews. This is for sure the case, but indeed, and I'm sure that Bondora had some also. I think we talked about this with power of attorneys, or like that in certain people were still responsible for small Excel sheets, small registries that did exist previously, but still, if it's so scattered, it lacks control, in my opinion, right?
Exactly. And yeah, as you already mentioned, the power of attorneys. It's so easy to manage the power of attorneys in the program and the system. I have total overview, and especially when it ends and who can do what, and it's very good. But as we talk, as we are under the FI license, we will work as we are credit providers. So our next is becoming to be a bank. So it means much more regulated, how to say, documentaries and the rules with that. I'm not talking about loan agreements. I'm not talking about employees agreement. I'm talking about only service agreements. And to become a bank, it's more detailed and need to focus which contract is like critical or non-critical, and very teeny tiny to need to focus. What else we are doing in Avokaado? We do all the board members and supervisor board members contracts there.
Okay. Vilma, do you have a question, or it's by mistake? Okay, I think we can proceed.
Okay.
And indeed, board member agreements. About the last topic I wanted to ask Lelet, the financial inspection. I think you already have had some communication with them, right? When we were preparing the data registry, in that sense, or the AI prompts or the templates, right? Which questions, what do they want you to track? And you got quite a big variety of feedback from them, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure, and I don't know of the audience. Does anyone already using the Avokaado, or there is totally new faces?
I think they're both here today.
Oh, okay. So then you know that to use the AI, that's not something that's already ready to use, but it's like tailor-made for each one. So our tailor-made and input comes from the FI. Again, I'm not collecting the data, which I'm thinking that it's mandatory, but I'm collecting exactly that data which is needed for the FI or the other institution where it's needed to later on to show and to collect or even to do the audit once in a year. So I need to remark all these kind of things.
Yeah, and I will just show on the background, like how does the AI work in case someone hasn't seen this. The idea overall indeed is that you choose either a document type or template with the variable that includes the questions or variables that are important to you. They do not have to be in that sense like it doesn't have to be a template. All you really need to do is create the questions. You create them inside like a smart field sets, and you create the document type, you apply it, and this was what we did, right? We applied here that this is the information that I want to collect, and I assigned where the document will be saved, and then it will export the information here. 1 second, it will take more, and once it is ready, it arrives here. And then we can have a look, and we see all the details, like all of these variables that we see here, they have been defined by me. So as we mentioned, Lelet also just discussed with the financial inspection, and that these are the variables, or these are the information that she has to keep tabs on. She must know, when are the where are they from, where are, for example, their central or headquarters even, or something as such, are there force majeure or any other terms. And then basically what she does, she reviews this information, and then she basically just confirms it. So, and then she can proceed with any other task. Like she mentioned before, she can do the signing, she can do whatever really is needed for this specific contract. And then we can see that in the document data over here, all the information is available and can then be amended accordingly later. And actually, Lelet, this is perhaps also something that we can quickly discuss. And this is actually one of the latest features, right, of Avokaado, that previously it was only possible to just export or extract the information, but now this information can also be adjusted. So, for example, if let's say there is a board member whose contract comes to an end, and really you just want to mark that there is an end while previously perhaps there wasn't, then you can just edit this data at any point later as well, so that you would always have the up-to-date information in your data registry, basically.
Exactly. All these things in the AI is a wonderful tool, but sometimes we need to edit some kind of information. Even the AI is collected from the previous contracts or whatever documents. So possibility to edit. This is one very good thing what you have there, because there is always AI mistakes and human mistakes can happen, and to keep relevant information, it's important to possibility to edit it.
Yes, absolutely. All right, and we did mention also the power of attorneys, right? That this is something that you are also working with. And I think the last time, actually, part of this discussion, yeah, actually, please.
No. I just wanted to give some more remarks that we have Bondora group, and we have 5 different entities on the Bondora group. So there is no one knows who have the power of attorneys or how long or on the which level or whatever. So this is a power of attorneys is good to keep in the and have the simple data registry in Avocado. Again, we can do it in the Excel, we can do it on the SharePoint or Jira or Confluence, what we are using also in Pandora, but there is not like an umbrella for everything. So nowadays is Avocado for us is like umbrella and cover the all main data what we needed to know.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. And actually, I think we kind of skipped these slides, so I will very quickly jump into this one. And as we looked at the data here, right, in 2008 it was established, and I think very many of our customers, and like at least the customers that I have onboarded, they rarely are fresh. Very recently there was one, but usually they come with a huge amount of legacy. And meaning that if we are talking about 2008, this means that the people have changed so much. The legacy is always there, and then try to really understand who was responsible or what, and etc.
Exactly.
And yeah, as well, the bigger the companies, there can be a very big or high employee turnover. Again, responsibility, control, classic things. And the variety of tools that also Lelet mentioned, that there can be many tools that you use, but they should also be like centric, right? So yeah, I think back to this one.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, and you saw on the screen that the employees contract all the things which is rated with the employees. It's at the moment not in the Avocado. We are using the HiBob, but again, for the future, it's very easy integrate the HiBob and Avocado, which was in the beginning one of the key remark as well to choose Avocado. It's because we have already HiBob with that legacies. So and the integration between these programs, it was very important.
And actually, when we discussed this, I realized, I think for the first time, that companies, I don't think it's just a financial institution or like companies who try to obtain a license here, but for you it was very, very important that actually that signed documents, even for employment contracts, right, would not be sent back to the tool, because you do not want the employment contracts to end up in US, which HiBob, where HiBob servers are located at. So in that sense, this was like a sort of enlightening to me. And is this something that Bondora checks at every step? Like overall, that information would be kept centrally in the right places, or perhaps you have some experience about that further.
Sorry, I have to remark that I don't have any experience with the HiBob because I'm not familiar with that one. So I can tell only the.
Yeah, it's true. It was your human resources people, right, who said that.
Yeah.
Because, and I mean, what this does also mean is that, of course, the ASICE file, right, the signed container, this might not even be supported by other tools that are abroad. Meanwhile, they can have very flexible ways to manage people in that sense, their contracts, their details, their everything else. But also that when those documents must actually be accessed, they would come to Avokaado to access those documents. So to keep all like the legal framework and legal access to the to those in like this in another tool, even though like people might be managed on another one. So yeah, integrations.
Yeah, but small remark to mention this a little bit with the signing process and the Avocado. So today's highlight moment what we had with Marianne, because I had one document which needed to be signed with people. Someone have a possibility to sign like TikTok, like as it's a file, and someone doesn't. But the document is just one, and I need to have each part of signatures there. So there was a possibility to find out the solution in Avocado system, how to get all the necessary signatures. Someone can sign via, as it's a file, and one person can sign like just a Docobit or e-sign now, or a little bit softer version.
Yes, indeed. There are different types of signatures, and yeah, thanks for pointing this one out, because indeed we did find the solution there. And I mean, in general, indeed, of course, this is not the topic per se, but there are different different levels of signatures. Simple signatures are basically the first one, like simple electronic signatures, advanced electronic signatures, which, in addition to just being a signature on the document, also collect certain amount of information on the identity, but perhaps not the highest quality thereof. And then the next one would be indeed qualified e-signature, and it is across Europe, actually, thanks to EIDAS regulation, to make sure that they are applicable all over accordingly. And of course, for each company, I think it is best to collect as many signatures in the highest quality thereof. Quite often it is Docobit for that. That is being used. So as it say, if it is possible, and then for people who isn't possible to sign it with, they use, for example, the advanced electronic signature, which Avocado also then provides this sign now. All right. So I see here that there's also another administrative documents on what's coming up next. Can you tell us more about that one?
Yeah, as I mentioned it already briefly, that the board member agreements and supervisory board member agreements, because there will be changes, and it's so easy to take and to organize this kind of things. And again, if we are regulated by FI of Estonia, so again, these teeny tiny details need to be done very properly.
Mm-hmm.
We are not talking about the old administrative documents. I don't know, the letters what comes in, or some letters going out, because the office manager, they are dealing with in the different platforms for that. But never know. Maybe in the future we will just.
Because in general, it would be possible, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But Avocado has so many options and different tools. But if a company are so big, it's impossible to take all the tools and the practice at the same time, because it needs to be done step by step. And in our company, we find out that all the old but the active agreements was the first thing what we need to do, and solve this part of the problem.
Yes, indeed, to gain back control. I think this is like a theme for today's webinar overall, to be in control of your the documents, your processes, your operations, your obligations, of everything. All right. Thank you very much, Lelet. Now, I think it is time for the questions and answers. I did see a hand being risen here or there, but I guess we didn't get there too much. Are there any questions? Yes, Christina, please.
Hi, I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Hopefully. So thank you so much for the presentation. Actually, you sold me quite to this whole AI idea. My biggest question would be just to double check. So what was mentioned is that, if I understood correctly, that if there is an already signed contract and you need to make like an adjustment, that would be possible with this AI, right?
So yeah, indeed, you can upload. There are actually, I would say, two ways. I will show you very quickly, perhaps the data registry that I opened here previously. On the one hand side, exactly what Lelet mentioned. So what is possible, or what we quickly had a look as well. So you upload the document and then you adjust, for example, the end date, or you adjust the, any of the fields that were actually extracted. And this can be done on a document level. And this can, especially, like, this is very, very easily possible. Now, the other option is actually, now this view actually comes from Avokado's data registry, and then there is a document type as well. And here we see if there are several documents between the same parties. So here we have like the lessor and tenant, like, right, two parties. And it can be that actually there is another document that you will import. So first you have the main agreement, and then you import also the annex, right? The annex to that perhaps changes the pricing, the length of the contract, or anything as such. Then you can import that other document as well. And the data registry here, we see this view consists of different documents, actually, meaning that this includes also the main contract and the adjustment. And if you, for example, just got the adjusted the price or the termination date or something as such, then the other option would be indeed that simply by importing the second document, it would update this record accordingly. So yeah, there are those two views, two ways to manage this and adjust this. I hope I gave you the answer.
Oh, yeah, because that would be really neat. Because, like in Lithuania, when you are terminating the employment contract, usually what is done, you just add a line in the initial employment contract. And now we couldn't have done that because it's an already signed document and you can't edit it. So that would be really useful for us. And the other question would be, I have Avocado open in front of me, my own Avocado, and where do I find this AI miracle in my own dashboard? Or do we need to, like, I don't know, have a new package of Avocado to have access to this?
Yes, you absolutely hit the nail there. Indeed, this is part of, let's say, the Avokado's kind of newer product, operational intelligence platform. And I'm very happy to talk, show you the way. And it doesn't necessarily even mean a big price for you, but we just need to kind of review your contract to make sure that you have access to this. So I will send you a link after this call so that you can book a time and discuss this further. Yes, thank you. Are there any other questions, or perhaps just to Lelet, about their road to becoming perhaps a bank, or any other, it doesn't have to be related to Avokaado. Maybe Lelet, I would ask you, although I know this is a small news perhaps still, but as you mentioned that you are planning to become a bank, Bondora is planning to become a bank. Is there a deadline that Bondora sees as a potential this happening?
With the deadlines, what can happen?
Well, the objectives must be kind of out of hand, right? This happened.
I think couple of years, something.
Couple of years.
After 2 years, maybe there is a time we can issue out the first loan and deposits, and we'll see.
Okay, perfect.
But what I personally wanted to mention is that when I came to work to Pandora, there was my first contact with Avocado program. I didn't have any kind of practice before or something like that. So I just jump in and,
Went for it.
Swim or not swim.
Same with
So I can't say it was very easy to start to implement the Avocado with no previous knowledges or practice or something like that. But the support from the Avocado side, the people, there is always like a keyword, because that was helping us a lot. And we had lots of problems, questions, everything. But especially in the beginning, if it comes to day, so it's much more easier. And now
Lovely.
we have our own tailor-made program and the AI tool.
Yeah, that's fair. That is very fair. With those very flexible tools, it can be a bit of a task to really make it meet all your needs. But once you get it up and running, the machine is already warm, and it will go smoothly. But thank you for those kind words as well, Lelet. And thank you for joining. If it appears that there are no more questions at this point of time, then I'll give a last opportunity here. I mean, we have a specialist here at the end. Then, if you have any questions, then feel free to reach out to, well, here is also my contact, Marianne.Vellerand@avocado.io. And if you have anything that I can assist you with, and Christina will reach out to you as well. So thank you, everyone. And until then, next time.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Was there a hand? Yes, no.